commercial break, that we give you an opportunity to talk about Tennessee State University and some of the other impressions that you've had in reference to Tennessee State and how Tennessee State might reach out under your administration.
Well, I certainly do thank you for the opportunity again. And as I mentioned at our earlier session, Tennessee State University is about our students. And one of the things that I'm trying to impress upon our student body is that in this world, they have got to be able to compete globally. And so we're putting all of our efforts with the faculty, with the administration, and staff to really create the environment where they can develop into creative thinkers, the ability to handle themselves in a global environment. I've seen technology create what I would consider a flattening of the world. According to Thomas Friedman, that's exactly what's occurred. People around the world can now connect, they can collaborate, they can communicate in ways that they're not limited geography-wise. So our students will have to be able to compete in that type of environment. So that is what we're attempting to do in terms of our academic programs and in terms of our student support services as well.
You know, scholarships, I think, in terms of student support, is very, very important. And I think that and I say this because quite recently they had a several $1 billion kind of lottery kind of thing. And I think Tennessee got more than $6 or $8 million out of that. And so this is proven to be a very, very needed place in terms of you finding support for students, is it not?
Well, I think that is true, and we see a lot of really good coming out of the lottery scholarships. But by the same token, though, we have a lot of students that have need. At our university, that is the primary vehicle by which most of these students have access to higher education. So I certainly would like to see a lot more in terms of need-based aid coming to the university.
And of course, with scholarships and research support and whatever, you think that you can reach out and deal with money. What about your research component in terms of your university?
Well, I'm as proud as I can be of our research that's going on at Tennessee State. I call your attention to the fact that our astronomers were on the team, the NASA team, that discovered the first planet outside of our solar system and followed that up with another finding of a planet that has a solid core that we think is going to have more Earth-like properties. This is important and astounding research coming out of Tennessee State University. I had a chance yesterday to meet with a team of visitors from the U.S. Army and Army research labs. They're very interested in the work that we're doing in our Center for Battlefield Sensors. We can actually take a lot of the load off of our soldiers that are out there in the field. And this research with robots going on right now, we actually purchased a robot just recently, $60,000. That robot is being used in Afghanistan right now. So we're providing all of the software, the engineering that it takes to make that a reality, to improve the condition of our soldiers.
I would say, Dr. Johnson, that these are some of the least known things in reference to Tennessee State University. Of course, you believe that it's your responsibility to make people aware of that in order to bring about greater support of it.
I consider myself to be a living logo of Tennessee State University. So I'm meeting with as many groups as I can to really give the message as to the fine work that's going on within the walls of Tennessee State.
And of course, I know that there are many community groups, I would imagine, Dr. Johnson, who would be interested in you coming by and perhaps leaving some words of encouragement with so many of our youth today. Why don't you say something about so many of our young people who are involved in all kinds of activities and tell them about the importance of education?
Well, absolutely. And one of the things that I wanted to mention, that is our connection to the community. We've set aside a lot of time to spend not only with news agencies, but also in the community with churches, working with Rotary clubs, Civitan, Kiwanis Club, speaking to them, telling the story. But also we are operating with our bridge programs to bring in young people to the campus, to encourage them to think about university life and college life. And so that's one of the ways our students are getting out, creating an opportunity for them to be engaged with the community, and that's part of their learning, the service learning component. So that's extremely important to what we're doing.
Think, serve, and work. Is that
think, work, and serve has been the university motto since its beginning in 1912, and we're continuing to do that today.
You know, you mentioned your athletic program, but how do you see that program certainly not now, but within the next, under your administration? I mean,
We get asked that a lot because, of course, our football team has struggled somewhat this year, but we have a new coach. We have a new system that's coming in. And I think it's going to take time, as any university finds, in order to build the program to the level that every one of us can be extremely proud of. I know that team. I'm with them all the time. They have a lot of character, a lot of structure, and you're going to see great things coming. You look at our volleyball team. They are playing at the top of their game right at this point. And you look at our athletes that are competing in track and field. I think there are a lot of really good things going on at the university. So I'm very, very encouraged with what we're going to do in athletics.
Very good. And of course, Dr. Johnson, we have about 4.5 or 5 minutes, and this will give you an opportunity to perhaps talk about some of the things that you wanted to make sure that you talked about before you got here. And so we want to give you that opportunity for the next 4 minutes, 3.5 or 4 minutes to talk about whatever.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I just sort of like to reiterate that our vision for the university is an expanded one. It's one of which we can take our students and prepare them for global competition, because that's what I see that they're going to have to be able to do in the future, to make sure that they are embedded with the kinds of technology skills, with the creative decision-making skills that they're going to need to be successful. By the same token, we want to build upon the richness of our faculty, to give them the kind of resource environment that would allow them to continue to have the research discoveries that will actually contribute to the betterment of mankind. So that's one of the other things that we really want to do. But also we want to make sure that every one of our faculty, staff, and students become external recruiters for Tennessee State University. I've made that a #1 priority for every single person there, to understand how they're part of the educational enterprise that we're trying to create. And by the same token, we want to encourage our alums to become more involved in the university, not just at football day, but throughout the entire spectrum of what we're trying to accomplish. So those are the kinds of things that we're trying to do at Tennessee State today.
You know, Dr. Johnson, I'm so accustomed to putting at the 21st century behind many of the shows that we do here today. And so what I'd like to do during this last couple of minutes is to raise a question with you in reference to Tennessee State University at the 21st century. Where do you think that we stand at Tennessee State University at the beginning of this, now, at the 21st century?
Well, I think the university is poised for greatness. As I mentioned to you, I think it's going to find its rightful place as an economic development engine for Middle Tennessee. I think you'll see it elevate its position of universities in this country. And I think the kinds of alumni that have graduated from Tennessee State University attest to the leadership that they have taken in their noted professions. And I can just go on to name the quality of alums like Oprah Winfrey, like Dr. Levi Watkins, like Ralph Boston, Wilma Rudolph. And we could just go on and show you the kinds of quality of graduates that have come out of our institution.
And of course, Dr. Johnson, I would imagine that you will probably call upon this element of your constituency to help you in terms of meeting all of the challenges.
Well, I sure hope so. And one of the things that we've attempted to do is engage in friend raising for the university, to tell the TSU story, to get them more engaged and more active participants in the lifeblood of the institution.
And so things look pretty good for Tennessee State University, to say that.
I'm as optimistic as the first day I got there, and I know that we're going to continue to enhance the image of the university and enhance what we're accomplishing for the region and for our nation.
And of course, Dr. Johnson, over this last minute, let me simply thank you for coming by and giving us that information in reference to Tennessee State University and some of your visions, because we've had an opportunity over the last 20 years, I think, to talk to basically every president at Tennessee State University. And of course, we are appreciative of you for allowing us to carry on that tradition. And of course, we'll try to do everything that we can in order to support you in your efforts, because I think that your efforts are the kind that everybody can really buy into.
Well,
if you're concerned about students and administration and faculty.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'm happy to be part of that long reign of Tennessee State presidents that have actually come in and chatted with you.
Well, I certainly appreciate
thank you
that.
so much.
Thank you. And of course, let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and Good morning.